All right, check it out. It's about 70 degrees, maybe a little more than that actually. And we are in Seaman, Ohio. Here comes the train up the grade. This is a nice grade right here. So they work hard coming up this. And here comes the train right now. Cincinnati Eastern Railroad rock train. Look at this, you got a siding right here. Rarely ever used. They use this for maintenance of way equipment every once in a while. All right, here comes the train. Listen to those locomotives. Hey, this is a good one today. Storage flat cars. I've been filming a lot of these storage flat cars lately. There's not many left down there. These came from Plum Run. Yeah, these are regular flat cars here. They had some flat cars that were from auto racks that were cut down, but these aren't those. They're easy to get mixed up unless you look at the handbrake. The ones that came from auto racks, the handbrake was like on the side instead of on the end. It's in the way if it was an auto rack. So you can tell these were never auto racks. They're kind of easy to get mixed up if you don't look at them closely. Hey, this is a good train though. Nice and breezy today, perfect weather. An awesome train with a flag on the back. This is Seaman, Ohio. Cool, look at that. There's the old Seaman Life Squad building. Let's watch those gates go up. Oop, going back down. Going back up. All right, that was cool. Look at this old siding here. Look at that adapter. That's old. Really old school stuff here. You can tell that rail's been used for something. It's not completely rusted. So they've had some maintenance way equipment on there. And then if you compare it to this rail over here, look at the size difference. All right, let's go get that train again. But wait, there's more. I'm at the top of the grade here in Winchester. They're just coming up out of the valley. This is a good spot to get them. and you've got the grain spur right over there. Looks like there's about 3 covered hopper cars on the grain spur right now. Here comes the train. Very top of the grade. They come up out of Mount Zion, climbing all the way to here. I'm getting all the hills today. There they go, westbound. There's the grain spur. Hey, the grain spur's got some grant money coming in too to put some new ties in. I'll get the information on that. I forget how much it was. I know it was over 100,000. So they're gonna be putting a bunch of new ties in on the grain spur. That's some old track too. The rail, I've shown it before, was rolled in the 1920s. Okay, we are in downtown Winchester. Now let's start heading over towards Sardinia. Here we go. But wait, there's more. There always is. I'm just outside of Macon, Ohio. There's a milepost right there. I can't tell what it is. 50 something. The C stands for Cincinnati. I can see a 5. Anyways, trains come from this way over here. I hear the bell. right, there you go. You can see Tri-County Highway. That's the crossing with the lights and gates and all that. And that crossing down, that's Tri-County Highway there. Let's watch the gates go up here. Those gates were just put in a couple years ago. They used to have just flashers there, flashers without gates, and they replaced all that a couple years or so ago. Working fine. All right, next town is Sardinia. That's a nice house right there, look at that. All right, here we go. All right, check it out. I'm over here at the Sardinia Wye right now. I'm at the east leg of the Wye, see right there? There's the locomotives, it's the east leg of the Wye. They're going to restore that so they can turn locomotives. They're going to restore the east and west leg of the Wye so they can turn locomotives around. And here comes the train. We're on the engineer side this time. There's Sardinia concrete. Two-track crossing. All these locomotives, 3 GEs sitting right there on the house track. Those two B36-7s in front of me will probably never run again. I believe that they still use that B23-7 because I filmed it just a few weeks ago. I know the real fan. Oh. Starting to rain. Barcodes. That one there's got the barcodes on it too. This is a long one. I think I counted 36 cars. 36 cars and 2 engines. About 154 axles, if I'm doing math correctly in my head. There's the B36-7s. There's the B23-7 back there. I think they're still using that one. I sure hope so. Just haven't seen it run in a couple weeks. And this track is still being worked on. It's connected now here at this crossing. So pretty soon they'll be able to turn locomotives around right here. This is the east leg of the Wye, the next crossing over. That's the west leg of the Wye. And this land for sale right here between, there's almost 2.5 acres right there. It's that little pie shape in between the two tracks. Then it also goes across on the other side of the west leg of the Wye over there and runs in front of the fire station. $64,900. I'd like to buy that little triangle piece right in the middle right there though, if they cut that off of it. Anyways, let's go get them in Mount Orab. Hey, guess where I'm at? Sicily Road. I'm gonna get the other side of the bridge this time since it got kind of cloudy. It's starting to rain again. I think the last couple times I've been here it's rained. So the train's gonna be right up here. I hear it rumbling. This is Sicily Road. Look at that, it's really sunny over that way, but where I'm at, it's raining, all cloudy. Somebody said I need to bring an umbrella with me. The problem is I can't use the camera and hold an umbrella at the same time because I can't focus or anything. I hear them. Be here in just a second. All right, here they come. High and dry for them. Cool, look at that. Sweet. I'm looking straight up at them. Don't get too close, might get hit by a rock. That's kind of cool. Walk completely underneath the train. I thought maybe you could see underneath the train, but you can't see nothing. The way the glare is, it's kind of dark under there. Need a flashlight or something shining up at it. All right, we're going to go up to Mount Orab now. Don't forget the grand finale in Williamsburg too. So here we go. All right, we are in downtown Mount Orab, and here comes the train. Lights are flashing. It's a good spot over here somewhere. The conductor is at the crossing behind me, High Street, which is Route 68. Oh, you're not supposed to do that. Not a rail fan. Us rail fans don't do that. Lights flashing down there. Got a nice train going through here. Some people don't realize that these tracks are still in use. I hear people say that a lot. This line went for almost a year without a single train going through here. Shortly after Norfolk Southern closed it down in 2014 when the Norfolk Southern local stopped working on the line. The T51. The local used to be called the L51. Then they changed it to T51. I got the very last Norfolk Southern train in 2014. I believe that's when it was. I gotta check my record. I think it was 2014. April, I believe. I've got the exact dates. This line was severed back in 2003. And Norfolk Southern served a few customers, you know, up until 2014. Well, there's the end of the train. All right, so the conductor will tell the engineer everything looked good. You'll hear that in just a second.
Good on that roll by 2758.
There you go. Good on the roll by. There's a conductor on the left. I see him getting in the company van, and he'll go check another crossing. He'll follow the train all the way. There's the oldest building in Mount Orab, built in 1884. Okay, we're going to Williamsburg for the grand finale. Here we go. Top of the rail, you can see some tire tracks from the high railer. Okay, we're at Lindsay Road, Mount Orab, west side of Mount Orab. See, this is where the old crossing used to be right there. You can see the road. The rails are a little bit rusty. Train went through yesterday eastbound. This is the second train of the week. Today's a Wednesday. The first loaded train of the week. Monday was Memorial Day, so they were off. Oh, it's pouring. Raining with the sun out. I just heard them on the radio talking. They got to have the train hold up at Hegman's crossing. So they got to wait before they get to Williamsburg. So they're going to either tie another locomotive onto the front, or they're going to have to wait to get a track warrant. I'm not sure. Probably going to need another locomotive, is my guess. But I'm wrong half the time. There's the top of the rail, nice and shiny. And there's the old road. Now we're going to Williamsburg for the grand finale. Here we go. All right, check this out. So I'm at Hegman's Crossing Road, and the train is stopped just that way, a few hundred feet or so. That's looking towards Williamsburg. The track will dip down and go back up. Let's see where the train's at. There it is. There's the train. Let's see if they're going to get a track warrant and go here pretty soon. We'll see what happens. There's the side of the rail while we're waiting for the train to move. Tennessee, it's manufacturer. I think it's 1983 when it was rolled. And looks like 132 pounds per yard. There you go. Well, I changed locations here. I'm in Williamsburg right now, and the rail's a little bit bigger here on the hill. 136 pounds per yard. Rolled 1984. Got the dashes, not sure how many. There's the company, CF&I. Gotta look that one up. So I changed to Williamsburg, and the train's getting ready to come. All right, here it comes, downtown Williamsburg on the hill. Since it's not raining, I guess I'm going to need 2 locomotives. There we go, notching up for the hill. she goes. Up Williamsburg Hill. They're talking to another train on there. I think the little switcher engine. So there was another train doing some switching at Hutamaki. That's what they were waiting on. They had to wait for another train to clear up a bunch of boxcars from Hutamaki. Now over here, if you look on the ground, look at all the little pieces of coal everywhere. This used to be a major coal route right here. This line between Cincinnati and Portsmouth, Ohio, they used to ship a lot of coal across this line. There's still pieces of coal everywhere. Look at that. Plus, you can find all these little clinkers. This is from burnt coal from steam locomotives. Right there. It's all over the place. Steam locomotives would empty out their ashes and then scatter it alongside the tracks here. There you go. Look at that big piece of coal. It's all over the place. Like I said, this line was cut in 2003. It was a pretty busy line up until then. If you would have been here like in the 60s and 70s, like I was, you would have seen a lot of coal go through here. All right, thanks for watching, everyone. If you got time, check out all of my videos. Every view helps my channel. And it's starting to rain again. So we'll see you later. There's the Batmobile. Oh, that's a good one. Wish I would have got him a couple minutes ago. He's losing a little bit of energy, I think. Oh yeah, that was a good one. That's what we was looking for. Good job, Loki. He's tired. Okay, it's June already, June 2026, and here's the corn. You guys will be able to see the progress of the corn throughout the year. There's a dog over there somewhere. I just saw her tail. She's over there somewhere. Chessie. Don't know where Loki went. There's Loki. I found him. Getting a drink. Wish I could drink that water. That would really make a human sick.
There's a home health nurse on scene saying that
There he is. I almost missed him getting in the water. He was out there a little bit farther by the time I got this thing turned on. They gotta be aware of the dogs.